About this? Does this remind you of paying your bills online? Trust Grace Kennedy Financial Group to do your banking, insurance, investments, money services, and more gracefully. Get to know us at gracekennedyfinancialgroup.com.
Life comes at you fast and it can hit hard. Apply for the Credit Union Prepaid MasterCard from CNWJ with chip and PIN protection. Need a card with a personal line of credit for emergencies? We have that. Need a card you can use to shop online for that must-have item? We have that. The Community and Workers of Jamaica Prepaid MasterCard. All the convenience of a MasterCard. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Hey, my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. The least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, mandatory. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Do a HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Real long life for youth. Coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Money, money, money! We know some extra cash in your pockets this holiday season can go a far way. Grace Kennedy Money Services Western Union will deliver your wish. Receive a Western Union money transfer for your chance to win a share of $2.5 million. 100 lucky customers will receive cash prizes of $20,000 each, and 5 lucky customers will each win grand prizes of $100,000 cash. Visit gkmsonline.com for details. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Watch and listen to win big this Christmas with any digital Prime bundle. Stream all the music you want on D Music. Binge Christmas movies in Play Go. Watch NBA games in Sportsmax, all while on the go, without using your any use data. Enter to win grand prizes of $500,000, a brand new Samsung TV with an entertainment system, or 1-year free service with a Samsung Note 20 Ultra. Buy a 7-day Prime bundle for $850 today. Digicel. Better together this Christmas. Visit digiceljamaica.com for terms and conditions. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act. Promotion valid November 19, 2021 to January 13, 2022.
News. Sit down and listen, have nothing to lose. Plus, you know them must bring something for you. Word of the day, that is something for your use. Bread of life, that I know my food. Plus,
Hey, welcome back to Campus Connection. You know, I remember, Campus Connection, this is where youths connect to grow. That was a tagline, when we started out. I'm Floyd Wilson, and with me is the big man himself, Reverend Sam. How you do? Yeah. I think you're muted, Rev. But one of the things that we had.
We're good.
Yeah, man, you're great, man. You're up. One of the things that we had when we had Campus Connection, we started out. We had 3 campus tunes. Can you believe it? So we had campus tunes at different intervals throughout the program. And I remember, the guests or the hosts, we will select songs that we thought were buzzing on the campuses, and we had different songs. Campus tunes has evolved into us having live performances on Campus Connection. People coming on with their keyboards and playing and all these things. Remember songs like "Cut It Off" by DJ Nicholas. William Murphy had "Wrap Me in Your Arms." Prodigal Son had "Lava." Kevin Downswell, "You Make Me Stronger." And then we have like Maverick City, Travis Green, Rhoda Isabella. And as I said, we have live performance. So we need to have a live performance from you, Reb, before we go. But not this week. We have a young man with us. So you have John Stewart, upper sixth form student at the Herbert Morrison High School there in St. James, joining us this week. Welcome, John.
Hi, John.
I guess he's joining us. He's coming on board. John, you with us? So John is going to be John is coming on board. So John is going to be sharing with us, singing a song for us in our campus tune section. I think we're having a technical difficulties there. So I guess probably we can. John, you with us now?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So John, take it away for us as we go into our campus tunes. Bless the hearts of the listeners who are listening.
Good afternoon. Do I turn on my camera?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Okay.
If you can. All right, we're seeing you, John. We're seeing you. Just bring it up a little bit. We just bring it up a little bit. So it's, yeah, all right, that's it.
Good afternoon. Who can stand against the Lord? No one can. No one will. Say, who can stand against our King? No one can. No one will. Oh, oh, victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. Oh, oh, victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. You're my provider. You're my deliverer. I find my victory in you. You're forever victorious. Forever we win. I find my victory in you. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. So I put my trust in you. So I put my hope in you. Forever victorious, forever we win. I find my victory in you. Forever victorious, forever we win. I find my victory in you. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. The victory belongs to Jesus. The victory belongs to him. Say, victory belongs to him. Victory belongs to him. All the victory belongs to him. Oh, I know the victory belongs to him. That's it.
Hey, bless you, John. Bless you. Thank you for that wonderful song there in Campus Tunes. As I said, Campus Tune has really evolved. Pastor Sam, we're having live performances,
Absolutely.
Students,
Yeah. And Herbert Morrison seems to be producing some good guys for us.
Yeah. Bless up all of the leaders and the teachers of Herbert Morrison. You guys doing a great job.
Yeah, man. And I'm glad that we're able to connect with a school from the West in a very strong way. And upper sixth former at the Herbert Morrison, that's good. And just to see the evolution of Herbert Morrison throughout the years, we want to commend them. Well, listen, it's now time for the bread of life. And so we're going back to 10 years ago. 10 years ago, where this guest was our Bread of Life guest for the 12th episode of the show. This was dated on December 18, 2012. Can you believe it?
Nice.
Our guest is none other than the big man that you know, Floyd, Mr. O'Neil Clacken. That's right. He's the ICF regional volunteer, and he is, I gather, still the regional volunteer. So, hey, O'Neil, what's up, bro? Hi, O'Neil.
Hey, I just want to big up people like O'Neil who are, in the trenches, they're serving, volunteering with young people, just, unsung hero. Big up yourself, Clacken, for all the contribution that you have made, to ISCF.
Yeah. And
really glad to be of service. I find no other way of being a Christian more than serving God's people. I'm not sure what else there is. Services is paramount. And with Floyd and Dr. Samuels, I got the instructions from you guys in the trenches. You came and saw me and pulled me up. So thanks for the opportunity to serve in ICF.
Yeah, man, we are really proud of you, O'Neil, and for all the work you have done. And we are also happy and delighted that we're able to reconnect with you after these 10 years. Tell me, do you remember the first show that you had with us?
Wow, I was jogging my mind to try and find the actual first one. I don't remember this was the first. Maybe it was. I think it was probably 2009 though, was the first one. When I came out. Maybe 2009.
Yes.
Probably that was with Alicia Wedderburn.
Right, probably. Right.
Yes. Tell me something though, O'Neil. What has life been like being an ISCF regional part-time volunteer? How does that work? What do you do? How has it been for you?
Well, very, very fulfilling. I really regret the time that I don't get the chance to kind of be there, represent to the young people at regionals especially. But just pouring into their lives, and I remember saying something to a first former, and then I think when they were in like fourth form, I quoted something I said like 3 or 4 years ago that impacted them, and that really helped to motivate the work,
Absolutely.
And even years after they graduate, they might see you on the street and say, "Hey, Uncle O'Neil, you did this to me, I said this, and it really changed my life." I remember a young couple came to my church in Minnesota, and they said that they were married now, and it was because of something I said to them that really impacted them, that let them wait to look at marriage, to have sex, and all these things.
Yes.
I didn't even know I was making this impact. So that's universal for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're not only a part of the ISCF and spiritual life of the young people, but you're also a part of the academic life of this country. And it would be good to, just before you move into your bread of life for today, just before you dish out the bread, it would be good to know, your perspective of the educational system or the education system in Jamaica now in comparison to 10 years ago. Don't know if you can make that comparison, but it would be interesting because I suspect that you're still an educator, still in the system. What's the difference between then and now?
Well, it's interesting because even since then, I was focused heavily on online learning.
Yes.
Right? My focus was on online learning. And this time,
are you serious?
Yes, that's a big part of it. We develop online learning systems, and my work with an institution that focuses on that as well. And I even currently work with an international institution that focuses on online assessment and so on. So I think the online space is somewhere that I think could help a lot if the schools and institutions are prepared for the for the changes that is needed to make it successful. I think it can help. We're kind of thrown into it since COVID.
Yes.
So we're seeing a lot of bumps in the road and hiccups. But if it's implemented properly, with the leadership being a big part of the change agent, and if they are focused on it and they are willing to help it to develop it to where it should be, I think it will help a lot. So 10 years ago, we're kind of pushing us like 20-30%, but now I think with all that has been evolving in technology and how we can expand the learning, I think online is the way to go, in my opinion.
Most definitely. Well, it's interesting to get all of these ideas and thoughts from you, a real seasoned educator. But I know your role on this program is to give us the bread of life as we bring closure to the tenure of myself and Floyd. You want to share your bread of life with us, my brother? Go right ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Sam and Floyd. Well, you're looking at the passage. I was kind of looking at it again today. When Jesus said, "I am the bread of life," right? I think he used bread because it was relatable, something we can always relate to. I mean, even from the earliest of times, bread was being used in the Bible as a reference, right? Unleavened bread and so on. Even in the communion and the Last Supper. And you have to know, bread is very popular. Everywhere you go, it's the bread. They say hard dough bread, it's the cocoa bread, you go to KFC, you get the bread, Burger King. It's always bread. Bread is very popular. It's ubiquitous. Everywhere you go, you see. So when Jesus said, "I am the bread of life," I think it's something that he used to say as a memorial, so we can always remember it, so we can use it as a reference point. But when he said, "I am the bread of life," sometimes we might refocus our attention and think that the attention should be put on the bread and not on the I am. We focus mainly sometimes on what we can get rather than the giver. What I think Jesus is saying is he is the provider. I am the bread of life that you want. Not just try to get the bread. Because earlier in the passage, he said, "Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life." But in our natural human state, I think we usually try to get just enough to get by on the bread itself, and not on the provider of it, and him who is the bread. So instead of just trying to get the bread, Jesus is saying he is the bread. If you get him, you get not only the bread, but you get everything else that he wants to provide for you. He has everything that you need, that you want, already designed for you to get it. But he's saying the way to get it is through him. He says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all is righteous, and all these things will be added unto you." So what Jesus is saying when he says, "I am the bread of life," is not to get too entangled with trying to get the bread, get the food, get the money, get the clothes, get the cell phone, right? He knows what we need now. He knows what we need. He knows that he needs a school fee. But he said, don't worry about it. Don't be anxious about that. Focus on living a life for him. Focus on denying yourself. And sometimes we'll focus on the bread, we get kind of fat. We get too much bread. Sometimes they eat. Sometimes mother say, if you eat too much dumpling, you look like dumpling. They get big and round and fat. So we focus on the things, Brother Stevenson. We focus on the things of the world. We'll not be able to reflect Christ. What Christ wants us to do is to focus on him. When we focus on him, instead of getting fat, we get fine. We get refined, like pure gold. And when we're refined, we can reflect him.
Absolutely.
In all focus on him. The things of the world and the desires for the things of the world will be reduced. When those things are reduced, people can see God through us. So it's not that we don't need the bread. We need bread to survive. Give us this day our daily bread. That's a need, and He knows it. But our attention, our focus should be something that is not only relatable, because we can see it every day and it reminds us of Him. That's something that is, refined with sugar and all these things that, sweet to our taste. But He wants us to renew our mind by focusing on the bread of life. He says, I am the bread of life.
Thank
you.
you.
So the more we focus on Him, the more we will transform, look more and more like Him, and lead others to Him.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, O'Neill. Very powerful. Floyd, what do you think about the man? He's still sharp.
No, man. O'Neill is a mighty man. Trust me. He does so much. He's always going, always giving. And, bless your heart, O'Neill, for coming back after, so many years, share with us with the bread of life. And thank you for your service to the young people of ISCF, my brother.
I thank you too, Floyd and Dr. Stevenson Samuels. You have been, being like angels in the airways for the past couple of years. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your faithfulness. Let God bless you and your family, and do take care. All the best, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
All
God
right.
bless you, my friend.
Yes,
So
take care. God bless. God bless.
Thanks, O'Neill. A little walk there down memory lane as we close out our tenure here on Campus Connection. Pastor Sam, what I remember? After a word like that, I would have said, we just come out of the word. Now it's time to go into another word. And you would give the word for today. You remember that?
Of course, I remember.
And you would always have one of those words, that to enlarge the vocabulary of our listeners. And then I would always try to put it in a sentence away.
Absolutely. And you are usually an expert on that one.
So we thank O'Neill for the word,
Of course. And speaking of memory, Floyd, how are campusites remembering what they have studied? Wow, that's not so easy, especially in this pandemic. Very difficult to recall some of the things that you learn on a screen. Yes, wonder how they are coping. Do they really need study tips? Well, let me tell you, Floyd, it's time for exam study tips in 15 minutes. Yeah, our guest this week is a man who joined the Campus Connection family this year and has been working behind the scenes.
Yes, that none other than our very own Jermaine Johnson, a teacher there at St. Catherine High School, executive member, the PRO of Passion and Purity. Welcome, Jermaine. Welcome.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, everyone.
Yes. It's great having you on board. Just want to big you up also for the work that you have done, behind the scenes for Campus Connection. And being here as a guest today to tell us a little bit about some study tips. So Jermaine, you're a teacher. We always want to know what's going on the ground. What's it been like for you? I know you're involved with different things, but what's 2021 been like for you as a teacher? Share with the listeners.
Well, I would say, persons are saying that it has been rough. I know it has been rough, but exciting. I want to say that it has been an exciting year. As a teacher, I have seen collaboration like no other. I'm telling you, within my school, across schools, we want to say, support groups have been strengthened. Groups like, Christian Teachers in Action, which I'm a part of as well. You have other groups that a lot of training has come out. I've also seen, quite a bit of content, as O'Neill was saying about technology. That's what I have seen, and I have been able to interact with technology on a greater level with my students. So there is a level of great excitement, and I see opportunities, being realized, So that has been my year, really.
Yeah. I see Reverend want to jump in and ask you a question too, you know.
Well. Just want to ask, in your opinion, Sir J, do you think things with online school class, um, have they improved or have they gotten worse?
All right. So clearly, I will say improvements. As I was saying before, there are improvements in terms of persons learning. We have been able to employ quite a lot of methodologies. Persons are just used to face, but the online space has given so much. Google Suite, that many persons use the Google Classroom. Every day you learn something new. Sometimes the students are showing you stuff as well, and so it pulls them in to the whole aspect. It's not teaching and saying, okay, I tell you, you do. It is all of us doing together.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has been really, so there is improvement, and I believe there's even more improvement to come. Yeah, so I see the future as bright. We just need to work on the technology, fitting out the whole connectivity with the internet. And I'm telling you, we'll be in a very good place to achieving our goals as a nation.
You know what? I think part of Jermaine's response is just because Jermaine is such a positive individual. So he sees, he sees the best in every situation. So even in the midst of COVID, he's expressing some of the positive that are coming out of this. Jermaine, so let's go to the cream of the matter. We're in the middle of exams now. The challenges of being online and so many different distractions for young people. Share with our listeners some study tips or campus sites as they go into this time that they can use to help them out.
Okay, all right. So I'll be sharing a few study tips pre the actual exam, and studying, and some strategies when you go into the exam itself. All right. So one of the things that I'll encourage students to do is to ensure that they have a good grasp of the content, that has been taught. So with the online space now, what it affords is at kind of a digital tracking, wherein notes are uploaded within your classroom. You are to spend some time to review those notes. It gives the ability for teachers to post videos and students and whatever work would have been created. A lot of times, persons in the pre-COVID era or the Google era, what will happen is that students will lose their work. So you give a test and they lose the paper. In the online space, you are able to go back and just click. And so we'd encourage them to review and to ensure that they cover the content, or review the content that was covered in class. Get a syllabus. If you have not had one before, get one. You can inquire from the teacher. It's not too late. Miss, sir, can you send me? There maybe have been things that, would have been gone in depth and you didn't grasp that, but you want to see what the syllabus has to say about it. If you're in CSEC, you can go on the CXC website and download the syllabus. So get the syllabus to help you in terms of how much you would have learned or not learned. You can track yourself. Use some mnemonics to assist us in memorizing concepts. I am a teacher of food and nutrition, and we always tell persons, to remember some of the nutrients. They can use certain things, like for protein. Pamela came for my Valentine weekend, something that will strike it, and that is P is for protein, carbohydrate, the C, the F for fats. You get the gist. So create certain things that they can use to recall information. Formulate multiple choice questions with the aid of textbooks. Textbooks are very important. I was going through today with a class and I posed some review questions and I'm saying, this is in your textbook. And they were like, huh? Because the textbook gives a proper guide and give review questions. So you can formulate your own questions and see how best that works for you. Make notes. Make notes. Still writing is still in. And I know that when you write, something happens to the brain when you write down things. It's like it sticks. So
Yes.
even though you're seeing the thing on the screen, it's good if you take a notebook and start to write. So you may write the concepts, definition, label diagrams that you would have covered, and also get study cards. Study cards are important. And this one is going to surprise you. Do not SWOT. Read it and understand it, the information. Don't SWOT, guys. And I would say to persons, prepare before the exam. I am one of those persons who, the night before, I am going to my bed. I'm going to my bed to get a good rest for that in the morning. Sometimes I wake up maybe 3 o'clock and, that little reading over and so, but I'm going to my bed to ensure that I'm resting so that I don't fall asleep in the exams. And I will go when we're in the exam, some tips for them to just follow. One is read the questions carefully. Please, it's not a rush. Take your time. Look through. Many times students say, sir, I didn't see that, because they were just rushing to get out of the exam room or even come off the device, doing online exams. So read the questions carefully.
Take your time.
Take your time. And identify some distractors in the responses, especially multiple choice. You're going to see an answer or a response rather that is close to the answer that is not the answer. Most times, the right answer comes in your head first.
Mm-hmm.
Most times, if you study and you see it, don't change that answer, because I'm telling you, you're going to regret it afterwards. So look and decide the best answer possible. Pay attention to terms such as best, most, likely. What is the incorrect thing? Or except. Usually these are highlighted in bold, and so we have to pay attention, especially for multiple choice when they say what is the best or the most likely response. You have to pay attention to that. And ensure that you if you have to change a response, you make sure that you think about it logically before you change that response. Because sometimes, again, we say there are answers that are close. And I will just leave with these two final ones.
Yes.
Do not leave any questions unattempted.
True.
I think that testimony was shared last week about that. I think Crystal was sharing about, leaving some things and so forth. Don't leave out anything. Write whatever it is, just start to write and get it out on it. You may pick up some marks, I'm telling you. And if you think at all that time is going out, start to, again, pace yourself. And for multiple choice questions, usually you say give yourself a minute or so to complete a question, a minute and 30 seconds thereabouts. If you see that you are stuck on something, just put it on pause, for a minute or two or a couple of minutes. Go on to something else that and get that covered, And this is the most important study tip I'm saying to persons here. You must be praying. I am not going to leave that one out.
Amen.
I'm going to say pray, and I'm going to dare say study with Jesus. We have this lingo from last year where I said study with who? With Jesus. Talk to the Lord about it. Go and say, God, I don't understand it. It happened to me already. I was going to UTech. I don't know nothing fly the night before in micro and macro econ. And I was like, God, I need your help. And surely, the morning I took up that book and I was reading, hear me say, I was reading the book, and understanding came. So,
Amen.
To study with Christ and ensure you pray and be relaxed and go inside that exam and just do what you do best, be successful.
Hey, thank you so much, Jermaine, for sharing these wonderful tips. I'm so happy that we have experts like you who can come on and share these tips. I'm happy that I wasn't the one who shared the tips, because probably I'll be sharing some tips that are not too
good. There will be unconventional tips.
But I agree with you. Jesus plus hard work equals success. And,
yes.
I had to call on Jesus sometime, But it helps when you study, because, he can't recall what you didn't study. So
right. So you will study.
Sometimes
try and work, conquer all. That's my school motto.
Yes.
And I want to say big up St. Catherine High School.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good points there that Mr. Jermaine Johnson from the St. Catherine High School gave us just now, to have a good grasp of the content, to review the content, and there is always a good advantage to online learning because you can always go back and study. Wonderful idea that. And then to follow the syllabus, that's a good thought there. All right. And also to formulate multiple choice for yourself, like you're the teacher. Then make notes. Look like a waste of time to me, but he says that it helps to reinforce memory using study cards and all of that. Do not swat, but read to understand. Get a good sleep before the night before you go to the exams. These are all great ideas, my brother. Identify distractions in the questions. Pay attention to particular terms. Ensure if you have to change a response, think about it seriously. Don't leave any question unattended. Put on pause difficult questions and then get back to it. And then pray and study with Jesus. Oh my God.
Hey, Jermaine, you're a great teacher of Jermaine because you see Reverend Sam taking all the notes.
I saw that and I'm saying he's an excellent student and it would bother me to say I'm a great teacher too, collaborate. And so all of these ideas didn't come from me alone. As I said, I have to pick up St. Catherine High School and one of my colleagues, Miss Nariel Phillips, who, assisted me some years ago and we came up with these things. I've had these from like 2017 and going and we keep sharing with the kids and, results are there. So, collaboration is it. But well done, Reverend Sam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Like how we're not going to be, co-host again. I have to find something else to occupy my time.
Oh gosh. Thank you so much again, Jermaine, for sharing with us those study tips. Thank you for being on board. And I know that you're going to continue to be a partner with Campus Connection. God bless you, my brother.
God bless you. Thank you.
Right. That was Jermaine Johnson, a very, very committed supporter of Campus Connection and involved in all kinds of things. ISCF, Passion and Purity, really just so very engaged in ministry and in church life and in school life, very active in his school, a great guy, great human being.
Very dedicated.
Congratulations, Jermaine.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, we're going to have a walk down memory lane now, brother. Yeah, for real. And, Campus Connection, we've had such great experiences with Campus Connection. I wonder if we could do just a little break at this time, Floyd, and then come back and talk about some things that, we experienced while being on Campus Connection. It's time for a break. Soon come back.
Education news. Sit down and listen, have nothing to lose. Plus, them must bring something for you. Word of the day, that is something for your use. Bread of life, that I know my food. Plus, man, I was a chew.
Hey my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider. The least you ever test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, mandatory. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Go HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Real long life was a youth coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Thanks, here, Arville. I really appreciate it.
Why you bothering Arville again, Lisa?
You know I have my annual returns to file with company's office, and nobody can help me but him.
But there's a new one-page form now called the status quo form. It's for people not making any changes to them company details, like shares, info, director, and so on.
Sign, pay, and go! The new status quo form makes filing annual returns easy. For more information, call the company's Office of Jamaica at 908-4419.
Nothing for lose. Plus, them must bring something for you. Word of the day, that is something for your use. Bread of life, that I know my food. Plus, man, I was a
All right, welcome back. This is Campus Connection, and it's our Let's Talk About It segment. We've been together, Pastor Sam, for nearly 10 years on this program, and we've had some wonderful programs. And we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane. And so you wanna take us into one of the features that we had before?
Yeah, remember Salt of the Earth?
Yeah.
We had a feature called Salt of the Earth, and it was pretty good. Yeah, and it featured and highlighted different projects and initiatives being done by students, being done by teachers, to make a difference on their own campus. I felt that program was pretty good, and quite enjoyed that feature.
Yeah, because it was showing those persons who are being salt and light, who are making an impact in their community, through different organizations and through different initiatives. So yeah, definitely loved Salt of the Earth. So Salt of the Earth back then, on our 13th program, way back in December 11, 2012, we had our guest, Mr. Percival Palmer. Mr. Palmer is a former General Secretary of SCFSU, that's Students Christian Fellowship and Scripture Union, and he's also the former principal of the Professional Development Institute, Girlstown. So it's great to have, Pastor Palmer with us. Greetings, Sir Percival.
Hi, greetings, Floyd. Greetings, Steve. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good.
I'm wonderful. Yeah, man.
Tell us, Sir Palmer, do you remember back, in 2012 when you were part of Campus Connection?
Boy, I remember we did
too long.
A different. It's a long time, and so many things have happened. Because in 2020, 2021, that's a long time, and a lot of things have happened, and so on, and moved on. As you have rightly said, I served for 3 years as Gen Tech for ICF, and we did a lot of projects together. I recall one of the projects we do was trying to get our former graduates to reconnect with the movement in terms of what part they could play, and that was an important thing in terms of a conference that we had. But moving from that, right after I'd gone back to church, because I was seconded from Fellowship Tabernacle Whole Life Ministries.
Yes.
And then I was then the principal of Professional Development Institute and Girlstown, which is a project that was founded 1965, so that would make it like 56 years now.
Yes.
And the whole purpose of that was to give young people in inner city a second chance, those who never finished high school, or those who had finished, or ladies who had become pregnant, as I said, Girlstown, but then we had transitioned into catering to the young men too. And so that's what had happened in terms of just focusing on them and saying to them, hey, you can do great things, don't look at the past, look at where you are presently and what the future holds for you. So that is one of the things we were focusing on in terms of employing those young people and the things that we're doing in terms of helping to change your mindset. Because I think, as Romans 12:1-2 says, be not conformed, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. And if you don't change people's mind, as I discovered when I took on that task, you're not going to change their course or their destiny. You have to change your mind in terms of mindset, because that is what keeps a lot of people down. So that's what's happening. So that's what's happening then, and what's happening now. I've moved on.
Yeah, Pastor Palmer, thank you so much for your service and that's what you have done in terms of student ministry. I know you're a man who is involved with different ministries, sports ministry, being at Girlstown. Can you tell us a little bit about the impact of other organizations that are linked to the church? So sometimes, the church doesn't talk about all the different things that are involved with, but just talk about the, how useful and how, the impact of some of these other organizations that are making.
Well, for me, like ISTF and YFC, a lot of my early spiritual formation happened in those organizations in terms of, like with YFC, it was geared to anchor to the rock, but geared to the time. So the ministry was always cutting edge. Same thing happened in terms of ISCS in terms of being interdenominational in nature. So it allowed for the different expressions in terms of the faith to come together and to make an impact on campus. Myself and Steve were kind of in the same time when UCCF took over the whole. We're taking over the campus. It's big time. It was the biggest thing, the biggest student organization. And a lot of us came out of that and understood the body of Christ and kingdom in a significant way. And then you have like Child Evangelism Fellowship that focuses on the children. And those major ministries are what we call para-church, because they are for the church, but enabling especially young people from children going up to persons at university to find their feet and to understand what the church is all about. So those are some key ministries, and I still encourage people to continue to support. A lot of things has changed, especially with COVID, but it has allowed a lot of innovation to happen in terms of how we do ministry and we see ministry from the church. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Rev, you wanted to ask a question there?
Yeah, man. I'm our good friend Percival, he has been involved in the education system in more than one ways. He has had a kind of spiritual engagement with the education system, and also he has been the chief education officer of an institution, the principal. Let me ask, having come out of all of that, Percival, I would imagine that you are still connected in some way, maybe not formally, with what's happening in the education system today.
Yes.
Any hope? Do you have any hope?
Yes, man. There's hope, man. Hello. That is the livest mission field we have right now in Jamaica with a lot of our young people, whether they're not going to Sabbath or Sunday school, and so therefore, in terms of the formation of their value system and morals, it's missing. And I think that is something that we as church must see as one of our greatest mission fields. Even with what is happening like with social media and so on, we have to crave a space and become innovative, think out of the box in terms of ministry, and especially what has happened with COVID. Oh my Lord, my heart my heart cries out. And also too, having served as president of PTAs in primary and in high schools, and even helping to drive a mentorship program at my alma mater, I'm understanding that there's need for us to get in and to serve and to share the love of Christ. That's what we need to do in terms of what it means. And to go back to what I call the simple golden rule. Do unto others as you like them do unto you. First, you love God, but then the manifestation of your love from God must be in terms of your lateral relationship that you have with people that you can see. So that is the greatest challenge now with all of what is happening with the fear and the narrative of fear. I'm thinking in terms of all of what is happening, we have great opportunities that we can reach out and love people and be in community and serve people as a church. That's what is right in front of us now as a church in Jamaica. Yeah.
Now, Sir Palmer, a man like you, is involved with so many different things. And I find sometimes I meet persons, who are working in ministry. They're involved with several different things. And, you said it, there's hope out there. There's this message of hope that needs to go out. And the harvest is right, but the laborers are few. How can we, kind of mobilize more people to be involved, in these kind of ministries and really just reaching out to our young people?
I think one of the things that we need to do is to love people, to be. What has happened in the church is that we have come back into the four walls and we're telling people, you come into the four walls and we minister to you. But if you look in terms of how the church ministered, even though it was under persecution that they went out, the great command, the great commission says we must go, we must go, we must go. We can't stay, because if we don't go, people will not know. And so we must first learn to be obedient to the Great Commission. That's the thing. And I tell people, if you are a Christian, the greatest thing you must learn to do is to learn to obey God and what He has said. And then you ask yourself, Lord, in obedience to you, what it is that you are calling me to do. And so there's a great call now for us to engage in marketplace ministry, whether in where you work, in your community. There's just a great need. And so we first must go back, as I say, go back to the cross. And then from the cross, which is where we operate from, to see now what it is that God has called me to do. According to what it says in Peter, we are called to be with a holy nation, a royal people, called to show forth God's praises to the world. And so if we get that focus back, I think it will be released from saying we can only do ministry in the church. That's the first thing, that even as a church leader, that we have to be calling people back to true discipleship. We are called as disciples to make disciples of all the nations.
Yeah. I guess, Pastor, Sir Palmer, we really could take such a long time delving into, just your own experience with ministry from parachurch, from church. And I know you have a heart for young people, and I know you have a heart for transformation.
Still do.
Yeah, man, definitely. And it's great having you back after all these years to be with us, even as, we...
I've never left, I've always been there. I'm always there. I've never left. Still there, ministering. Whenever the call arises, I still reach out and help people and facilitate and network and point people to where they need to be. But the call is great. And if we recognize that, we will not stay. We'll just go. We'll just go in faith and let our faith now take feet in terms of what we do in family, in community, wherever we are. Just love upon people. Show them the love of God in every situation. That's what they need right now.
Amen. We got to leave it there, Sir Palmer. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Yeah. And God bless you.
It's a great opportunity just to connect back in terms of campus connection. Bless you guys.
Thank you.
Blessings.
God bless.
All right, and blessings to you. Good.
Yes.
All right, so that was Sir Palmer, who was with us way back in December 2012. Pastor Sam, it has been such a journey. You remember some of those? You remember when we just started? You remember we had 3 hosts at the time?
Yes, I do remember. Yes. The great Keron Ennis, of course.
We had stuff like Campus in Focus, where each we would have a different school that we would focus on, and the principal would come on board, or a teacher would come on board, or a student. We really love that.
Yeah, I think we also had some very good producers over the years.
Yes.
And it was just good to have them participating and sharing and helping the program to become what it is today, one of the preferred programs on radio in Jamaica. And when we say radio, we're not talking about Love FM now. We're talking about even in relation to other stations.
Yeah.
This has really just been a program of choice. And we want to say a big thanks to the producers. They indeed have done much to carry the program to this point.
Yeah, man. Big up to all the producers. Big up to all of the guests who came on board, who shared, with us. There are so many wonderful guests who came and just poured out and they shared their stories, stories of inspiration, stories of transformation, stories of hope. And, we want to thank, hats off to all the teachers, all the principals who have been with us over the years.
Most definitely, my friend, most definitely. Campus Connection, a great program that has provided so much for many persons across this nation. And I know, listeners, that you have benefited tremendously from this program. I want to say thanks to you too, Floyd. You have been a good co-host. We've never really had a conflict with each other whilst working together. You are a very harmonious person. And your wife must love your man. Sure.
Hey, Rev. Hey, Rev, I tell you, I love the energy. Sometimes I come and, my energy level might not be here, but you just take me through the roof, Rev. I love your energy. Always, one thing I learned from you, Rev, is that you always put a 10 on everybody's head, so you always, give persons and think about persons the best way. And, bless you for that, my brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. And thanks to Love 101 for giving us this opportunity to, present this program, Campus Connection over the years. This really is an opportunity to serve the nation, and we want to say a big thanks to them also.
All right, so we're just going to wind up right now, and I just want to say thank you, Tony K, for being our producer right now and for the excellent work that you've been doing. Thank you for Timoy Butler for his technical support this week.
Well, we'll definitely do this again. So until next week, stay safe, stay inside, stay sanitized.
God bless. Walk good, everyone.
Stevenson Samuels here.
Floyd Wilson.
Bless you.
Where the student them see are, where the student see are. I want a one campus. We are carry the land one campus. Come on, tell me.